In the world of addiction treatment, especially when it comes to stimulants, clinicians, we often face what feels like an unsolvable puzzle. We see these behaviors that appear just chaotic, repetitive, deeply self-destructive. And the conventional approach has been to, try and suppress them, to manage them as symptoms. But for anyone on the front lines, it's just so clear we've been missing a crucial piece of the story.
We really have. And it leads to this revolving door of disengagement and relapse, which is frustrating for everyone. But what if we've been trying to solve the wrong puzzle? There's a groundbreaking concept paper, the Tweaker Taxonomy, and it suggests we need to stop looking at these behaviors as the problem.
Right.
And start seeing them as the beginning of a solution.
It's a complete paradigm shift. The framework reframes these behaviors, which it calls tweaks, not as chaotic pathology, but as highly strategic, adaptive responses to really profound unmet needs. It's about moving from asking, what is wrong with you, to what is this behavior accomplishing for you?
Exactly. As a harm reduction specialist, this feels like someone finally wrote down what we see every single day. The taxonomy maps behaviors to 7 core psychological needs, things we all have, like the need for safety, control, connection, or stimulation. Then it identifies 7 recurring strategies, or archetypes, that people use to meet these needs.
Wow.
It's essentially a translator for human behavior under extreme stress.
It gives us such a new lens. For example, the paper describes a man spending 12 hours meticulously organizing screws into pill bottles.
Okay.
Instead of labeling that as, obsessive-compulsive pathology, the taxonomy invites us to see it as an attempt to create a small island of control in a life that feels utterly out of control. The behavior, it has a function.
And once you see the function, you can work with it. So let's talk about the archetypes. You might have a chaser who is driven by a need for intense stimulation and escape. Or you might have a fixer who's trying to create order and purpose.
Right.
They are driven by different needs, so a one-size-fits-all treatment will absolutely fail them both.
This is where the framework becomes so clinically powerful. It's not meant to replace evidence-based practices like, say, cognitive behavioral therapy or motivational interviewing.
Right.
It's designed to make them radically more effective. It gives clinicians the why behind the what. So for that chaser, a reward in a contingency management program might be a voucher for, a supervised safe thrill like rock climbing. You're not fighting their need for stimulation. You're helping them meet it in a safer way.
Right. And for the fixer, maybe the reward is a leadership role in a community garden project. It honors their need for purpose and control. This approach is also deeply trauma-informed. It introduces an archetype called the survivalist, which is just essential.
Yeah.
It describes individuals who use stimulants simply to stay awake, alert, and safe in dangerous environments like homelessness. This is not about getting high. It's about staying alive. Traditional models completely miss that nuance.
I was also struck by the paper's intellectual honesty, The author is so clear that this is a hypothetical framework, born from over a decade of fieldwork.
Okay.
And it requires rigorous scientific validation. They're not presenting it as a final answer, but as a hypothesis-generating tool to move the field forward. They even tackle the name head on.
They do. They acknowledge that the term tweaker is stigmatizing in a clinical context, but they explain it was retained because it's the language used within the communities the framework seeks to serve. And then they guide clinicians to use more empowering language like adaptive pattern or functional strategy. It's a very thoughtful balance of honoring lived experience and maintaining ethical practice.
Ultimately, this is more than just a clinical tool.
Yeah.
It feels like a call to rehumanize care. It's a reminder that beneath every behavior that looks like chaos, there's a story of survival, a set of unmet needs, and a person who deserves to be understood. It's an invitation to just stop, put down our own assumptions, and simply listen to what a person's actions are trying to tell us.
It's about decoding those signals to collaboratively find safer paths forward, paths that reduce harm without stripping away a person's agency or dignity.
Yes.
It's about building a life that feels worth living on their terms.
It's truly a profound and hopeful vision for the future of care, which leaves us with something to reflect on.
So, here's a question we'd like you to think about. If we began to listen to other behaviors we find challenging in our families, our workplaces, even ourselves,
Wow.
as not a flaw to be fixed, but as communications about unmet needs, what might we learn? And how might our relationships change?